In this video, we're going to be taking a quick look at the new Walgreens exclusive, Silver Surfer the Fallen One. As you can see, the figure comes in the standard Marvel Legends style box. Nice artwork of Silver Surfer on the side of the box, on each side. And also on the back, you get a full shot of the artwork. The Obsidian Surfer's journeys to the distant future to combat the colossal threat, King Thanos, with the power of Mjolnir. Standard warnings, legalese, trademarks on the box. Silver Surfer logo on the top. On the front, here we have the Surfer in a plastic tray. You can see all the accessories. He comes with 2 closed fists, 2 blast effects we've seen multiple times. These are the same ones with the Sunfire figure. Instead of like the previous Walgreens exclusive, he doesn't have open style hands. He has grip hands because he's got Mjolnir. And of course, the surfboard as well. Here we have the Surfer Free Twins plastic tray. If you had the previous Walgreens exclusive Surfer, you know what to expect. It's basically the same figure, just new paint job. The only difference is, besides the paint job, is the different blast effects. These are the Sunfire style blast effects. And he doesn't have open style hands. He has grip hands, which actually are trigger fingers, which is kind of weird. Comes with the same Mjolnir sculpt as with the 80th anniversary Thor. As you can see, it's the same sculpt, except for on the 80th anniversary, the hammer is actually painted. They didn't paint the hammer part of the Mjolnir itself. They just didn't even, do a wash on the lettering? A little bit of a wash on the lettering. Paint the handle and the grip. This Mjolnir is just molded in the swirly twirly plastic. You can see the swirls in the silver plastic. They're darkish gray plastic. He's got the same effects as Sunfire. Fist hands, which works with these Sunfire blast effects. One thing I've noticed with the artwork for the Fallen One, I don't know why they made his eyes white. From a lot of the artwork I see, his eyes are this color. So I think that would look really cool if they could actually match the artwork with the glowing purplish pink eyes. Match the blast effects. Or at least give us an alternate head, maybe like a angry face, like you see like it's on the actual box itself. Speaking of, I don't normally care about the backgrounds of the boxes. But this one actually looks pretty cool. You can actually display your figure standing in front of the box, or pose with the board in front of the box to get a nice space scene. With the surfboard, it's the same one we saw with the previous Silver Surfer. Just painted in the gunmetal gray like the rest of the figure. One thing I would really like to see, some way, maybe like a detachable handle on the back, or some way where the surfer could hold the board in one of his more iconic poses when he holds the board, like, well, any surfer should be able to hold. But without anywhere his hand to grip to, there's no way to do this pose without cheating with some sticky tack, or if they could have fixed up like a detachable handle for the board where you can actually hold it. Would have been really cool. Or a hand that would actually just grip around the board. But right now, there's all you can do is stand on the board. Switch out his fist to his fist hands and see what it looks like with the blast effects. Here's the Surfer with his blast effects on. I really like the color contrast with these effects. We've seen these effects multiple times ever since the introduction of the Sunfire body. But with the purplish pink hue to these and the gunmetal dark colors on Silver Surfer, it's a really nice contrast. Would love to see an even better look if with the effects they actually made his eyes the same color in the same manner the artwork's depicted. Now with the Surfer on his board, let's do a quick comparison with the previous Walgreens exclusive Silver Surfer. As you can see, they're basically the same figure, just the paint job is the only difference, from the bright shiny silver to the gunmetal gray. And of course you don't have the open style pose hands for this one, and you got different style energy effects for the previous Walgreens one. These are styled more after the Kirby Crackle style effect. which I'm planning on ordering instead of those can of beans if they're still available. I really like his effects. Speaking of, I do have an extra can of beans. Here we have the Surfer decked out with Mjolnir, and replaced one of the factory effects with a extra effect I had from a can of beans, which looks really cool. Got the glowing power effect. With this figure being on the Sunfire body, we've seen many times. Don't really need to do articulation rundown, but we'll go ahead and do that just in case anyone hasn't had a figure on this body before. Pop out the effect. Do a quick rundown on the articulation. The neck is on a disc hinge. Ball peg on a disc hinge. Can look this much up, down, full 360, a little bit of tilt. Disc hinge shoulders go all the way up. Butterfly joints, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, hinge and swivel wrist. There's an ab crunch goes this far back, goes this far forward. Waist twist, ball joint hips. You got this far. Thigh rotation, double joint knees. Hinge to ankles, ankle pivots. And I almost forgot, ugly boot cuts on a nude style leg, which I hate boot cuts on this style, but I understand why they're there because they can eventually swap these out with a actual boot. Actually, there's an issue of mine. The sculpt, the peg and sculpt don't really line up on this leg. You can see there is a lip. I don't know if that's the same on my original Surfer, which I will pose on the board. My original Surfer, that's fine. Yeah, it's definitely like the peg's misaligned with the hole. Well, that stinks. All in all, this is a cool looking figure. I do like the color scheme. I didn't read the storyline for this in the comics, but I will be displaying it with my Cosmic Ghost Rider. This is a great looking figure. I'll probably just go ahead and keep the can of beans effect instead of using these effects. I like how these look like they're actually glowing around the hand, instead of being on the hand, hiding the hand. It is disappointing that I had a little bit of QC issue with the right leg, which the peg not lining up properly. And like I mentioned before, I would like eventually see a different board or a hand where you can actually, for a Surfer one day, where you can hold his board instead of always having to stand on it. I do like the stoic look for this head sculpt, but like with the artwork, there's an angry head with the glowing purplish pinkish eyes. Would have liked to see an alternate head like that, because this is all reuse. Easy, cheap reuse for Hasbro, but I still had QC issues. I don't know if anyone else has this issue. If you have an issue same as mine, comment down below. Thank you for taking the time to watch the review. I'll see y'all next time.